Hey y'all, so today I have a ton of things to do that are more maintenance related. I need to get all of this back here weeded. I haven't been home much in the last 2 weeks, I think actually like a day. So this has been on my list. It needs to get done, and so I'm gonna knock it out today. I'll take some before and after pictures because I don't even want to show back here on video. It's that bad. But I will get this done, and then I will give you guys an update on the direct sown seeds that I direct sowed, I guess, right before we went on vacation to Cabo, and had no overhead watering for an entire week and very little this last week when I was out as well. So I'm very happy with the progress on those, and very actually surprised at how well they did considering they didn't have hardly any overhead water. So anyways, I'm gonna set my camera up on high speed and I will put some before and after pictures, but I need to get this weeded and then we will look at the raised beds after that. These are some poppy seeds that I actually threw out last fall, and they came up really well. I had some double pinks that I saved some seeds from, and none of those have come up, at least so far, but the bees really like them. The white pollen, I think, is really, really fun. Hey y'all, so it is a new day. It took me all day yesterday to get all this cleaned up back here. It was such a chore. I was trying to wait until some of the self-seeded plants got a little bit bigger so that they would be easier to pull. And while some of them were, there were still a lot of little tiny celosia seeds just absolutely everywhere. I'll probably this year, I will probably pull a bunch of the celosia before they go to seed. They've been prolific self-seeders, which I really love, and I like them because the bees love them. But let me flip around my camera and I'll show you the progress on the direct sown zinnias, cosmos. I planted some dahlia tubers, and I planted some nasturtium too. So yeah, let me just flip my camera around here and I'll show you what we got going on back here now that it's all cleaned up. All right, so here's the celosia bed. Tons of celosia. Once these get a little bit bigger, I'll start to thin them out. Thousands of celosia. So I'll get those cleaned up in the next probably week or so. Got a volunteer tomato coming up right here, so I'm gonna let that do its thing and see what it produces. Got some bee balm here that I actually need to transplant at some point out into the landscape, and I need to get some more because I really like this bee balm and this bee balm. This one's a little taller, a little bit more wild, but I need to go get more. I'm not sure if the nursery has any yet or not. There is some, what did I plant in this bed? I didn't label anything because I was in a huge hurry to get these seeds in the ground. This is self-seeded alyssum from last year. I seeded it and it self-seeded itself, and some places are coming back. I pulled a lot of alyssum from the pea gravel. I'll have to go back and look exactly what I planted here. I can't remember, but I'll put it up on the screen. The bees are doing well. This three frame split is doing really well. I really wanted to inspect the bees yesterday, but I was busy doing all the weeding, and then the weather's not ideal for it. It's overcast and cloudy. There are some cosmos here, some nasturtium here. My nasturtium germination is not great. I planted a lot of nasturtium, and I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously, nasturtium gets pretty big. These varieties do, so they'll fill in. And maybe I'll get a little more germination at some point. We will see. I planted all of these seeds. I direct sowed all of these seeds right before we went on vacation to Cabo, and we were out for a week. So I'll link the video up above so that you guys can see exactly the method I used. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed with it. Here are the dahlias. I have some random dahlias, like this one didn't come up and this one didn't come up. And that it is the same varieties. I got these from Eden Brothers. They're brand new tubers to me this year. I didn't save them from last year or anything. But once I planted these tubers, we got a ton of rain. And these beds hold moisture really well. And so I expected a couple of them to rot. And my guess is that's what happened to a couple of those right there. Dahlia tubers are prone to rot if they haven't pushed growth up through the soil before they stay pretty damp. So here are the zinnias. I did not label any of my zinnia seeds, and I did not separate them all to see if they were pollinated or not. I literally dug a trench, filled that trench with potting soil, and then planted them right next to the drip tubings and went out of town for a week. No overhead water, no nothing. And you could see, like, I just crushed some seed heads and kind of sprinkled them about, and I got a lot of them in one spot there. But ultimately, these will need to be thinned out anyways. Zinnias get pretty big, so I'm a little sparse right here on this row and just a little sparse right here. But I think it'll be okay. I need to put the netting up probably today or tomorrow. I have some cosmos here. They're kind of hard to see, and there's not a ton of them, but this is the problem with this bed that you just saw. The cats like to get up there and they sit, and they are crushing the tiny seedlings. So another reason why I need to get the netting up. It'll keep the cats out of there. The tomatoes and the dill are doing well. The jalapenos are here. I need to get a cloche or something for the strawberries. The squirrels have taken all of those. You'll notice that my tomatoes are all bagged due to the squirrels. This hive is getting ready to get upsized to a 10 frame deep, and then it is going down to our land. We'll be taking that down there, and we'll start as we split and have swarms. If I miss them or something like that, those will all end up going down to our land. There's another tomato that I snuck in there. There's some sage just because I like sage, so I purchased some. There's some serranos here. I need to cut back some of the hollyhocks so that this gets a lot more sun. The hollyhocks are going crazy. I really like the hollyhocks, but I probably will remove these for next year. Some of these are plants that I planted last spring, and then some of them were self-seeded. Hollyhock seeds are really easy to harvest and to spread out, so I might actually end up putting some hollyhock seeds like out in a landscape over there somewhere. But honestly, everything's doing really well. I'm really happy with everything back here. I'm certainly happy now that things are cleaned up. When we were gone on vacation, this is the only pear I have left because the squirrels have just decimated the pears. So next year I'll bag all those pears. I wasn't thinking. We were out of town for a week, and they had a bunch of fruit on them, and then I came back and I had to go to Fort Worth for work for a week. So there's been a lot of things that kind of slipped through the cracks back here, but that's okay. We'll get it right for next year. And I never got all of these echinacea and yarrow and feverfew that I seeded last year for perennials that I could put out here. I just didn't get that done. I got a lot of them taken out, and there's a lot of echinacea back behind the teddy bear magnolia over there. And I used a bunch of them in the front as well, but I just didn't need this many. So I'll probably be finding a place for these maybe this fall and kind of going from there with those. But yeah, that is all that I have for this video. Just a quick before and after on some weeding and just some current progress on the direct sown seeds. That is all that I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.